All right. What do we got here? Idubbbz talking about concern trolling. Now, I've certainly had my sort of run-ins with idiotic fucking concern trolls who will do the really stupid, idiotic fucking nonsense all the fucking time and be very, very fucking annoying all the time when it comes to feigning concern for particular issues. Mostly because they pretend to be like, I don't know, overly woke, annoying fucking dipshits all the fucking time, and I don't like them. That's really all I have to say about, like, I don't know, conservatives, broadly speaking, who feign concern about particular issues or minority populations constantly. I don't like them. They are very annoying.
Thankfully for me, I have the majority of this video already recorded. This is just a little addendum. I think an addendum is something that you put at the end, but this is a predendum. I'm throwing in a little predendum. Something that I've been struggling with for a long time on YouTube is concern trolling. The thing that I really struggle with is not identifying concern trolling. The difficult part of it is when there are people who have authentic concern out there, and the concern trolls are concerned over the same thing. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm giving in to the concern trolls by addressing, you know, this segment of the population or this segment of my fan base who have genuine concerns. So I don't want to let
that is also certainly a thing. Now, with like I suppose like much larger audiences, it's very difficult to sort of discern who are people that are being genuine and who are people that are certainly not being genuine, to say the least. Because again, consequences of internet anonymity sort of coming into play here, broadly speaking. People can kind of just say anything on the internet. They're behind a screen. People can just say stuff. So it can make concern trolling a certainly more effective rhetorical tactic for a lot of the people that use that particular tactic because, well, they can just be like, well, I certainly am concerned about what content creator A is saying here because of blah 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 blah, and in reality you look at like how they've engaged, broadly speaking, throughout social media with like differing like minority populations or whatever, and it's like yeah, they're kind of like full of shit in reality.
The trolls inhibit my ability to communicate to my fans or people who are confused out there. So I want to talk about Creator Clash. I want to talk about the structure of the business and how it's changed over the years, and just sort of put to rest any of the lies that are being spread out there about Anissa, about me, and about the event. My main incentive for sharing this information is that I have felt extremely handcuffed by Creator Clash these past years because
it's low tier bait, Boy Meets Mini. It's low tier bait.
I'm not an expert communicator, and I don't know how to convey things, not over-communicate, not do all these things that potentially put the event at risk and put other people at risk. And that's kind of why I wanted to step away from this event. It feels like it's inhibiting my ability, like the business side of things.
So I know that a lot of people are like incredulously attacking Idubbbz for like Creator Clash or whatever the fuck. I know that like Ethan Klein likes to constantly bring up Creator Clash and just be like really annoying about it. Same with like all these like dumbass slop tubers. They love to just be like, man, so Creator Clash being a complete failure from year 2 or something. When like I don't know, they're like trying to like build up a fucking narrative and trying to like, I don't know, make Creator Clash 3 be a failure for some fucking reason. They're like trying to manufacture consent for the failure of Creator Clash 3 by bringing up the second year constantly. Even though, like, Idubbbz has acknowledged before that it's been a failure for various reasons, which is very, very weird.
Inhibits my ability to communicate openly and effectively, especially when there's so many people counting on me to, you know, do that well. So it's a lot of pressure, and now that Anissa and I have stepped away from it, I want to just clear the air because I don't feel that same pressure that I did when I was part of the event. If you look at the charity events, they come in so many different shapes and sizes, and there is really no format that is completely obvious for creator boxing plus charity. For the first Creator Clash, we had the business model of after everyone has been paid for, you know, the expenses of the event, all profits go to charity. That was the business model, and it was successful. Thankfully, it worked out the first year. Now, some people people will be critical of one of the costs being parties for Creator Clash 2 and actually Creator Clash 1, because that's where we got the idea from. It was very successful for Creator Clash 1, or the event was successful. We don't know if the party worked to encourage people to promote the event, but that was the idea. You get a bunch of creators to show up to a fucking hotel the night before their fight, and they're going to post about it on...
Okay, I don't know. Is this going to be one of those, because again, like, Sloptubers, broadly speaking, when they engaged with, like, these sort of, like, I don't know, admissions, these sort of, like critical analyses, or self-reflections, I should probably say instead, of, like, people acknowledging their sort of mistakes, they'll basically, like, cherry-pick particular things and say, like, oh, well, like, Idubbbz is, like, lying here because of bibbidi-boppity, flibbity-flappity, boobity-wobbity, fibbity-fabbity, or some shit, or whatever, and just try to, like, again, like I've been saying, manufacture consent for, I suppose, the downfall of the next Creator Clash event, which I find to be very strange. Like, why do you want the downfall of a fucking charity event? Like, why? This is a charity event for cancer, if I recall correctly. Like, I don't know. Are these people, like, all secretly RFK Jr. and they want diseases to win? Are they all secret, like, Nurglite spies and, you know, collaborators or something? Have they all fallen to chaos or something? I don't know. Seems a little weird.
On social media, and the internet will be abuzz. And the event was successful, so we thought that strategy of having, you know, a little hubbub, a little hullabaloo before the event and after the event was a good idea. So we ran with that strategy again, hoping that creators will post about it and be excited about it and buzz will be generated. But it didn't happen. Or maybe it did happen, but it just didn't sell tickets. I would cross that off my list as a learning experience of, well...
Wasn't Creator Clash 2 mostly mired by, I don't know, like, it's mostly just, like, mismanagement, and also, I would broadly speaking also say, I suppose, like, a lot of dumb, annoying... It's also Sam Hyde. Yeah, Sam Hyde's shit as well. Because, not that long before Ian did Creator Clash 2, he released his Sam Hyde documentary or something, and then he reflected on what he did in the Sam Hyde documentary, saying, like, yeah, I kind of messed up here. I'll be honest here. I kind of messed up with that one. And Sam Hyde was able to, like, I don't know, like, quote-unquote, take him for a ride. But then all the, like, drama slop content commentator YouTubers or some shit decided to be, like, really fucking annoying. And this was also when Sam Hyde was constantly pushing to try to be a part of Creator Clash. And Ian was like, no, we don't want you in. Like, I'll be quite honest. And that was really about it, right? Like, a bunch of people were sort of, like, incredulously creating, like, a negative sort of stigma around Creator Clash 2 in the defense of Sam Hyde, who, keep in mind, Sam Hyde is a fucking freak. He is a fascist. Or some flavor of fucking Nazi. The problem with Sam Hyde is that it's impossible to fucking discern because, again, meta-irony and shit. Although, honestly, and I'll give Destiny this, okay? This was a very good Destiny video that he did. When looking into Sam Hyde's fucking video about the H-1B visa sort of, I guess, quote-unquote, debacle with Elon Musk, with all the groypers who got banned off of Twitter in particular because of all the stuff that they were saying about H-1B visas, and Sam Hyde made a video trying to defend the groypers, telling Elon Musk to essentially, like, bring them back onto the platform, despite the fact that, yeah, very often Elon Musk will sort of exploit people with H-1B visas all the fucking time. Again, H-1B visa program is not a good program. That's a completely other different story. Yada, 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 yada. Like, Destiny himself also said, like, if you listen to anything from Sam Hyde that's not, like, outwardly public, because it's impossible to discern, like, based off of anything that he fucking says. But if you look at his fucking podcast, of which he keeps behind paywalls and stuff, you can tell that he is a Nazi. But in, like, these sort of, like, American flavoring of, like, talking about who truly is an American. And when Sam Hyde talks about who truly is an American, he's talking about white people specifically. When, such distinctions are ridiculous and stupid, right? And are mostly born out of, racism, to be honest.
Well, if you do this strategy, you either got to force people to post about it, or you have to fucking, not do it. You gotta make sure that people are slapping each other during the weigh-in. That's probably what I change it to, because it's cheaper, It's a lot cheaper if people slap each other during the weigh-in. Wasn't about that. I was just like, I don't want this fake drama shit. For the second creator clash, we used the same business model. This time, we increased the budget, we had more fighters, we had a bigger arena, and more expenses in general. As a result of that, there were a lot more costs, and our ticket sales did not make up those costs. It seemed very obvious that this was not the way to run the charity boxing event. We told our business partners, we are not going to do this event again unless it can be promised to us that there was a way to guarantee money for charity. And the business model that was presented to us was what we're enacting, or what we did enact this year with Creator.
So yeah, that's what I mostly thought. The negative buzz of all the people being annoying about Sam Hyde certainly didn't help, I would say. But more so, I would say, it was mostly just business mismanagement, right? That was the biggest problem. Just too many costs.
Clash 3, and that is the for-profit side of the business is unincorporated with the charity aspect. So the charity partner is its own fundraiser that we sort of push people to, before, during, and after the event. I think where some of the confusion is that many people don't understand how charity events operate, because to be honest, they're all very different. And with something like a charity boxing event, there's a lot of money that you have to front to put it on in the first place. And if you have an investor, you're able to do that. That investor is going to want money, they're going to want profit, but that at least gives you the initial funds to put on the event. There are other charity initiatives and events that allow people to spend money for a ticket and immediately get a product, and also their money goes to charity. Those are usually big fucking conglomerates, giant companies that can afford that cost because they're selling you other things. Some people have an idea of charity events as being a strictly altruistic thing, where everyone is just sacrificing their time and energy and money for the charity. To put on a boxing event costs a lot of money. And even in other examples like GDQ, Games Done Quick is a charity event, but...
This is a very good example here by Idubbbz, to be honest. Yeah, they generally speaking, they do, it's all charity work, but it's also fucking business. Quite beyond, to be quite honest.
They're not like a charity themselves, they run a business and they partner with a charity and they fundraise for the charity. They send people to the charity, and thankfully they have, multiple ways of being paid and paying the people who are running the show. That might be through payment from the charity, that might be through their own a Twitch stream or merchandise. I just know that for a charity boxing event in the form of Creator,
I could probably comment a little bit on this. I've seen a lot of GDQs and whatnot. A lot of it is through auctioning, right? But generally speaking, a lot of that goes directly to the charity. Generally, it's Doctors Without Borders is the main charity that Games Done Quick, broadly speaking, works for the really big GDQ. Your A GDQs and your S GDQs, right? So that's the they just work alongside the Doctors Without Borders, that charity in particular, and the sort of way that they do this is they drive donation. They have donation goals for a particular thing to be done in, let's say the game that they're doing. Here's this bonus objective, raise money for it or something, or incentive structures mostly, right? Through the chat. Also auctions and shit like that. That's generally the main way that they do it. I do believe they probably do have their own. They have their Twitch stream, obviously, and they have their own merchandising, and then they have a YouTube channel mostly as a repository for VODs and whatnot. But generally speaking, it's all and they've been kind of diversifying their sort of portfolio, right? They've been going. GDQ has gone woke, folks. Let me tell you, folks, they've gone super woke. They have a female only speed running event, when only with black people, very woke, extremely woke, and also one where there's only gay people, very woke. What happened to our good American boys who were fantastic speedrunners, not getting any representation in GDQ? If I want to do an example of a silly concern troll or whatever, of GDQ, just a stupid example, but yeah, broadly speaking, it's trying to think of like how their business the business model would be. It would be like, because I don't know if they receive any money from like charities that they work with. I don't think they do. It's primarily speaking through sponsorships with different merchandising companies. I think it's like Fangamer and the Yeti, I think, are the two big ones. And also they, generally speaking, have a lot of other sponsors. They've had like big ones before. I think they've had like Red Bull before and stuff. That's the primary way for us to how they do it nowadays. But also, yeah, they do like their own events and like Twitch streams and stuff like that, right? To try to make some money for the fucking to be able to put on more events and stuff like that, because GDQs are expensive, right? Like, you gotta set up the thing, get the venue, you know, yada yada, shit like that.
Clash, there aren't too many ways to recoup your money other than ticket sales, and that was obviously the biggest challenge of the previous two events.
So yeah, with GDQ, it's primarily speaking through sponsors.
When it does well, awesome. But when it doesn't, it's a huge problem. It remains to be seen whether the for-profit business side of the event will be successful. But the main controversy, I would say, is that it was revealed with the change of ownership that Anissa and I, because we're 1/3 ownership of Creator Clash the business, that we were getting 34% of the profit share. We weren't anticipating this event doing well. Like, we wanted to do well enough to pay back the investors, of course. So that's one of the reasons that we were, you know, okay with the profit share thing. But another part of it as well is that the contract wasn't structured in a way that the profit share could just directly go to charity. It was told to us, like, you could just donate your portion of the profit share to charity after the event. So we were like, okay, fine. Now I know some people will find it hard to believe that Anissa and I were just going to give our portion of the profit share to charity. There's nothing I could really say to, I think, convince them otherwise. It was up to our discretion at the end of the day. And if you don't believe us, I can't say anything that'll change your mind. I guess my only appeal...
Yeah, the consequences of all the fucking slop tube stuff. That's what it is.
...is that year one, we made a bunch of money for charity, and I just got the fighter's pay like everyone else. In year two of the event, we definitely got nothing. So yeah, having said all this, I know that there's probably a lot of you out there who honestly don't care, and you're just like, you want to see boxing, or you just want to see regular videos. I get that. For my soul, I needed to communicate it. So yeah, that's a big relief for me. I mean, I'm very happy that, you know, this year money is being raised for charity, and I'm glad to know that
we love raising money for charity.
Than year two. Mission accomplished, as far as I'm concerned.
And that was like a lot of that was through the Hassan stream when he was like reacting to the context nuke by Ethan Klein, right? From what I recall, and he was like raising money at the same time for Creator Clash. Was that like? Did they end up raising like? I know they got to like what 100-something thousand or some shit. They you know. It got up there. It got up there in terms of donations. So that's pretty fucking epic. I don't know. It got to like 240K. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good.
I responded to his personal attack with a joke, and then he hit me with a concern troll.
From the right, there's a lot of concern trolling around small businesses.
This is the most boring kind of concern trolling.
Get Snoop Dogg and Tupac the concern troll.
It made
Concern trolling.
You need to address this issue, man, because you are offending the trans community. Shut up.
That is such poor concern trolling.
Lindsey Graham did a lot of concern trolling about this.
He's concern troll.
I really find it funny that Tim Pool is complaining about concern trolling when he concern trolls all the fucking time. Like, all the time. This is a quick reminder. How many fucking videos does fucking Tim Pool have about the America about to have another fucking Civil War? Civil War II, Electric Boogaloo? Like, how many times? How many times has that happened?
Trolling is empirically wrong.
Oh, dude, this is like the hardest concern trolling I've ever heard in my entire life, dude.
You don't answer to the concern trolls.
Concern trolling about homeless people.
This guy's an example of a concern troll.
Concern trolling about fairness.
They sit on the sidelines and they concern troll.
It's basically concern trolling.
There's a lot of people do concern troll.
Concern trolling.
Concern trolling.
Concern troll.
Concern troll. Concern trolling.
Concern trolling. Concern trolling.
Quintessential concern troll.
That was some
Michael Brooks, 07.
Yes.
07 to a real one. Michael Brooks.
I've been working on my laugh lately. I'm trying to get it to a level where it's contagious. I haven't figured it out. I'll let you guys know when I figure it out. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Idubbbz Complains. In the last couple of videos, I got a lot of comments. Now I don't have time to read all 150,000 comments, but I also don't want to let down my audience, you know? I want them to know that I hear you. I hear your concerns, and I'm listening. I've put all 150,000 comments into the AI, and I told it to condense it down into a singular comment that is representative of the whole. My hope...
That's a thing. You can do that? That's a thing you can do? I had no idea you could fucking do that. I'll be honest. That seems very, like a very convenient tool, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't want to fucking read through, I wouldn't want to read through that many fucking comments. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Although, like, what, was his two most recent videos were, I don't know, like another episode of, like, Idubbbz Complains or some shit? Or his, like, most recent videos. I don't remember. I'm curious.
What?
Video. Oh. Right. It was the content cop and the content deputy. I just forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that the one comment will perfectly represent a small fragment of everyone in the audience, so everyone is equally happy. Okay, hold on a sec. So
Totally.
I'm kind of lost. Who's Hassan again? But hey, it's cool to see a content cop after all these years. Still, I gotta say, something feels different, man. Did we lose the plot somewhere? I miss the old days, but whatever. Keep doing you, I guess. Anyway, peace out. I'm gonna go rewatch some Filthy Frank now. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big fan of the one comment because I feel like it perfectly encapsulates
so
a comment
stupid,
from like a normie viewer who maybe watched you 5 years ago, but you know they don't keep up with the drama or anything. When I first started my research on concerned trolling, I was trying to find scholars on the topic. I know it hasn't been around for that long, but I'm like, surely there's someone who is well versed in the art of the troll.
He's mastered that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, Idubbbz. I don't think you're gonna find anyone who's I don't know, mastered the art of the troll. Honestly, like, I don't think there should be someone who should be a master of, like, concerned trolling or trolling, right?
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Yeah, we do a little bit of trolling. That is true. I don't think, like, that's a thing that can really exist. I'll be quite honest. Like, I feel like because it's an art form, right? And with, like, any other art form, there can be, like, people who are really good at it or whatever, and can do the performance of trolling really, really well. But, like, is there, like, one form of trolling that rules above all else? I don't think so. It's you know, the fucking the gay libtard is talking about fucking art or whatever. Like, it's an art form. You can be, like, really good at it or whatever, and just sort of. It's a skill that gets honed throughout time, right? I'll say it, yeah. I'll say it, yeah. Like, you gotta have skill to be a troll, you know. You can't just, like, do it all willy nilly. And yes, Walter Masterson is very, very good at it. I agree, Boy Meets Minnie.
Art of trolling.
To my surprise, the scholar on this topic is Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, it's been almost a decade since, like, the Gamergate time, and go figure.
It's her!
8 years later.
She's
like,
returned!
Oh,
It's
Sarkeesian
Anita!
got onto something. There's a lot of assholes on the internet, and they're kind of misogynistic, too, I think. It's crazy what a little CTE or the love of a woman will do to you.
Unfortunately, that's not the only species of concerned troll out there.
The
Women!
most obvious definition for concerned trolling is when someone is pretending to be concerned about...
Oh yeah, Anita definitely talked about concerned trolling, and I mean, again, like, I've even said this position. I've had this position before. Whoa, it turns out Anita was correct about a lot of stuff when she was talking about stuff, even back then. Crazy. And, like, I don't know. Like, I know, like, a lot of lefties don't like her because they see her as, like, swerfy or something, or, like, kind of turfy. Even though I've not really seen any evidence of that, to be honest. I mean, you know, the second part of my attack on Gamergate arc, sort of withstanding, like, we took a look at some of Anita's biggest fucking videos, and to be honest, I didn't really see anything sussy. I'm gonna keep it $1.50, but, you know, She ended up being fucking correct. I don't know when she made that video in particular, but, you know, she still makes videos, I'm pretty sure, but, Gamergate is long dead and gone by now.
About a particular subject or cause, when in reality, they don't give a fuck. They're just doing it to either get attention, start a fight, derail a conversation. To be honest, it's very effective. Because back in the day, you could identify someone trolling pretty easily, and you can kind of scroll past it. They'd have a name like Shit is Fuckus, and they would say fake and gay. But nowadays, it feels like the average troll is going to give you a paragraph or two.
I'll be quite honest, I don't even know, like, if those people would be considered... I don't know if I, like, 100% agree with that, right? Like... It's like that fucking obvious. I think it's just like, you know, consequences of like fucking, I don't know, internet anonymity and the broader sort of like outrage marketing and stuff like that. Like, cause like even then, like the people would just say like stupid shit all the fucking time, and would also like write out complete paragraphs like that and like try to effort post or something. And it wasn't that, like, obvious. I don't know if this is the recent advent, like Idubbbz is saying. I'm not sure, though.
and you will not be able to identify straight away if someone is fucking with you or not. Do they hate me? Are they making a point here? Should I rethink my behavior? What the fuck? It seems like they'll oftentimes give you their fan resume to like prove that they're not just some random hater, right? They're not a troll or a hater. They're a fan who's been supporting you since the Kickstarter crap era. They've been supporting you since you made an NFT of your ball sack. I've been subscribed since the Overgrowth Let's Plays. Hello everybody and welcome back to more Overgrowth. Just want to say that this video really missed the mark. Hope that you can do better.
I've seen, yeah, people do shit like that all the fucking time, I'll be honest. Even I get shit like that, where it's like, well, they don't say that they've been a fan of mine for very long or whatever, but they'll say like, oh yeah, overall this like video kind of like just misses the mark, because I don't think you're just being very honest at all. And it's just like, I know like you're being full of shit right now, okay? Like, I guess it's mostly like the Asmongold videos or whatever. That sniffling dipshit. It's like mostly where I get those kinds of comments. I know those people aren't fucking honest when they say that, because they don't believe in anything. They're just mad that I'm going after their fucking, I don't know, Cronenbergian sort of like roach king or whatever. That's the thing that they're mostly upset about.
Hope that you can do better. Such a great thing to say. It's like, you're a piece of shit. Part of the reason I want to share this is because I know there are a lot of creators out there who have to deal with this on a regular basis. They have to be the ones to differentiate between authentic and inauthentic. And a lot of the time you just gotta fucking flip a coin or just ignore it outright. And it's really easy to say like, I would handle that really well because my policy is to not give a shit about any of it. But obviously, if you do want to have some sort of relationship with your audience or the internet in general, you do have to give some percentage of attention to what's being said online. That's going to be different for everyone. Now, some people might be worried that I'm giving new strategies to all the trolls out there. But don't worry, they already know these strategies. This is kind of like I think this is in all of us, right? Like, if you want some attention, you're going to figure out a way to get the attention. If you want to
Come on, crash
figure
out!
out how to fuck with people. This isn't like some secret sauce, really. There's a few different strategies of dealing with concerned trolls. You can obviously, you know, try to look into their post history, and if they don't come across as credible, if all their post history is wiped, then you can just say, I'm going to err on the side of, you're trolling me. When I listen to Tim Pool, he has...
I think that's a very fucking good policy that I would, broadly speaking, sort of agree with. And that's the policy that I also engage with as well. So like, alright, what does this guy fucking think and believe? What's the post history? What's going on here? Yada, yada, yada. And I try to like figure that out. And if I can't figure it out, yeah, like, ignore. For the most part, I just mostly like ignore them. Especially if it's just like, honestly, if it's like just things that they just say like lip cuck or whatever, like, I'm not gonna bother with really any of that shit. Okay, if there's someone who's actually trying to present some kind of an argument, I'll fucking engage with it. Or if it's just something that's just like so wildly like dishonest and it doesn't fucking matter, it's just like I'm not gonna fucking bother. I don't care. Like, fuck off. And yeah, Tim Pool is one of the kings of fucking concern trolling.
Has like a little bit of a theory on, you know, the left versus right and who is doing more concern trolling.
The right has their concern trolls, but it's rare. It rarely happens. On the left, it's endless because people like Patton Oswalt don't...
Dude, like, what the fuck are you talking... Yeah, Tim is just wrong here. That's like the primary strategy of fucking right-wingers. They concern troll all the time. And I think Tim Pool himself is also fucking concern trolling right at this moment. Tim Pool loves to concern troll.
Care about principle.
Now, I don't fully buy into what Tim Pool is selling here. You can kind of look at the political spectrum as like a spectrum.
Yeah, and Tim Pool caring about principle. Ha! That's funny.
Concern, and people on the left seem to be generally more concerned than people on the right. You can say that people on the right are mostly concerned about themselves. That might be like a fair assessment. If you're somewhere over here where Tim Pool's at, all you got to do to concern troll him is take one step to the left. That's it. I think concern trolling is in the eye of the beholder. Honestly. With this example, you have Tim Pool thinking that Patton Oswalt is being concern trolled by his audience, or a portion, maybe like a small segment of people.
This is what happens when you fall for this stuff. Patton Oswalt falls for it. He is a weak man.
But Patton Oswalt doesn't feel that way.
I'm trying to think, like, this was in reference to, and I think it gets brought into, right? This is like all the Dave Chappelle shit, right? If we're talking about like January 2022, where Dave Chappelle was just like, I agree with J.K. Rowling. And then he just started becoming more and more of a piece of shit after like saying that he agrees with J.K. Rowling, right? Who, I mean, J.K. Rowling, let's be honest here, is a, well, anti-trans bigot, and is seemingly someone who could give less of a shit at all about, you know, the trans people that saying that, you know, you're with J.K. Rowling and you agree with her, that says something about you. But what? Anti-trans organization? How J.K. Rowling is war on trans people won't stop us from existing. Which is true, yeah, she has funded a bunch of, like, yeah, quite literally, the recent sort of thing that passed in the Supreme Court of, whatever the fuck, of, the UK, like, she had her grubby hands all over that stuff. She helped contribute to that. Like, that's not hyperbole or whatever. Like, she is a billionaire and has donated a lot of fucking people. There's also a significant financial component, with Rowling reportedly donating £70,000 for Scotland Women, the organization that helped bring the original suit. Yeah. So, Dave Chappelle is saying that he agrees with J.K. Rowling, who is who is an anti-trans bigot. That's not hyperbole. This is true. Kind of says something about you, right?
You know, he sees it as authentic concern, which is why he addresses it in this Instagram post. By the way, the concern is basically just people were uncomfortable with his association with Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle did some transphobic or said some transphobic shit. But Tim Pool has such a fucking low emotional IQ that he doesn't realize it isn't a big deal to listen to what other people are saying and, like, adjust your behavior. It's all...
Dude, fuck Tim Pool is, like, a perfect candidate for death of subjectivity. Like, death of subjectivity is Tim Pool in a fucking nutshell. Tim Pool, because, well, he's a fucking millionaire who's completely out of touch with reality, will never sort of, like, understand how other people may think or believe or perceive him. And that's kind of, like, the main issue with, like, Tim Pool. Like, you want a case study on death of subjectivity. Tim Pool is a prime suspect.
all up to our own fucking discretion, right? Like, if you aren't to the point, Tim, where, you know, you don't want to apologize for fucking anything, which, by the way, it seems like that's a theme on your podcast, is basically saying, like, I'm not a problem. But acting like that's the way the rest of the world needs to operate, it's like, I think Patton Oswalt is doing just fine operating the way he's operating.
Wallow in it. Okay, Patton Oswalt? Never tell an offensive joke again. Never cross the line again. Good luck trying to figure out where that line is. Good luck. You won't...
You know, that point by Idubbbz where he basically said, like, yeah, Tim Pool is all about just, like, yeah, everything's totally, like, not my fault at all, bro. Nah, nothing I say or do is ever bad at all, ever, dude. That's, like, just such a, like, a perfect encapsulation for us to, like, I don't know, like, the non-sort of, like, death of subjectivity, obviously, but also more, like, so the mind of, like, how conservatives, broadly speaking, work. They never think anything is any of their fault. They always have, they think of themselves as, like, the absolute perfect snowflakes, even though they say ostensible things, and people, rightfully so, say, like, hey, you know, what you're saying is kind of shitty, or you're kind of behaving like a fucking asshole, which I think is fair to say, because very often they behave like fucking assholes. People call that out, and then they're just like, oh, I can't believe that I'm being called out for my dipshittery. I can't believe that people are saying that I am the fucking asshole when they were clearly acting like a fucking asshole. It's completely incredulous bullshit.
Find it. You give in to the concern trolls, and you will never work again.
It's so fucking funny, too, because Patton Oswalt has been doing comedy since Tim Pool was in fucking diapers. What the fuck are we talking about? Can we please, like, I don't know. It feels like people like Tim Pool love to appeal to, like, authority all the time. In this scenario, can we please appeal to authority or acknowledge that this guy has tremendous authority over you in the world of comedy?
Unless you think comedy is saying, like, I went to a Jewish bakery the other day. They had bagels. Really good, really impressed with it. That's the comedy you're headed for. That's the joke South Park made, and even South Park has started pulling its punches. Let me tell you about the real world, my friends. Get woke, go broke.
One of the reasons...
Get woke, go broke, huh? Well. Sure. How much money did Last of Us 2 make? As per the AI overview, because it's the quickest and easiest of that, generated approximately $447 million in net sales. It was a financial success, selling 10 million copies by 2022. despite development costs of around $220 million. It generated a bunch of profits. And it's only a PS4 exclusive. Woof. How about, like, what's a fucking woke-tard movie or some shit, Boy Meets Mini? Like, what? I don't know. Barbie. How much money did the Barbie movie make? Ooh, $1.44 billion. Woof. Highest grossing movie in Warner Brothers history. And this movie was pretty fucking woke. That's not a lot of broke, I'll be honest. Black Panther. Oh, Black Panther. Ooh. $1.346 billion. That's a lot of fucking cheddar. It's a lot of fucking money. What happened to Go Woke, Go Broke? Tim, my friend. I thought these movies were woke or something. I'll be honest, the person who did the bit way better was Birdman. Birdman did the bit way better. I just kind of decided to take the bit, but you know what I mean.
The reason that I'm bringing this up is because after the content cop, I noticed a huge influx of concern trolls. They're trying to impact things in the real world. They're trying to, make people crash out. As
content cop
in my video. But I will say, one of the concern trolls was super fucking obvious to me. They came into the Discord. I'll read you what they put so you can kind of get a vibe for what a concern troll might sound like. Now, this comment is in reference to me saying that I think he needs a good ass whooping. What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. They say just
good fucking these motherfuckers do this shit all the time. Say one particular fucking word, and just completely take it out of context from the main overall fucking point. It's so fucking annoying. Because, this is an obvious fucking concern troll. Just being for real, this line in the video was pretty strange. At worst, it's a call for physical assault. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Because, that's totally going to fucking happen. Because, we're not, Ian is now not allowed to engage in, hyperbole or something. Okay, sure, whatever. At best, it's very toxic masculinity-esque. Yeah, because you totally care about toxic fucking masculinity. Either way, doesn't seem to align with Ian's mentality towards being more progressive and against harassment. This is some fucking cuck bullshit, bro. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe this person for even 3 fucking seconds. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, oh man, Idubbbz is totally being real and serious when he was, doing that fucking bit about, Ethan needing to get his, I don't know, socks rocked or some shit. Yeah, totally, bro.
Just being for real, this line in the video was pretty strange. Red flag number 1. At worst, it's a call for physical assault. At best, it's
I also agree. Yeah, this emoji is a fucking red flag.
Very toxic masculinity-esque. It just comes across as parody, right? This was literally no one's concern ever. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. Either way, it doesn't seem to align with Ian's mentality.
No, this is the content cop. This is not in context of creator clash. This is content cop. Because, a lot of people got real triggered about, Ethan being attacked in a content cop. That's why. I was still surprised that it was fucking Ian, or not Ethan, who was the one who was chosen for a content cop. I'm not gonna lie. That was surprising to me. I was not expecting that at all.
Towards being more progressive and against harassment. You see what I mean? It's trying to insert a little seed of doubt. Whoa, you might have been irresponsible here. You might need to take accountability for what you've put out on the internet. Never mind the point that you were making in the video. I think you need to repent for your call to violence. I don't think any creator...
Dude, it's so fucking annoying. All these motherfuckers are so incredulous when they say stuff like that. God, I hate it.
Should make that kind of statement unless they have a very good reason to do so, morally speaking, because you never know what one of your fans might do.
Now, I've seen this video already. I know exactly from where this motherfucker came in particular, and it's gonna be extremely fucking unsurprising. But I'm not gonna spoil it.
Quite dangerous. I mean, to someone who hasn't been through the ringer of concern trolling, I'm sure this could, upset or confuse someone, but this is just fucking drivel. I honest to God just think his vid and the whole intention would have been better without that in it. I don't see why he said that. Ugh. Of course, this is a new user to our Discord, so no post history. So again,
I want people to think for a second. This person who loves to sort of like wax poetically in a rhetorical sense all the fucking time. Who do you think loves to like wax poetically in a rhetorical sense? I'll give the chat a little bit, whoever may be here, in terms of like the sort of like rhetorical sort of prose for us to like what's going on here. Because I know where that motherfucker came from. And as soon as we get to, where this motherfucker fucking came from, it's going to be incredibly unsurprising. And that this person is completely fucking full of it. We've already given some potential hints here for as to which particular content creator. Now I'm going to give another hint. It's not Ethan. It's from the Content Cop, specifically about Ethan, but it's not Ethan's community. Just think about it. Who was someone who vociferously fucking defended Ethan's position as a vestige of fucking spite? That's also another big hint. Spite. That sort of like emotion that I am evoking here. Or concept. It's an emotion, I guess. Whatever. Let's just keep going.
You got to get creative. You reverse search the username, and you find that they have a Twitter. Their Twitter is suspended. The Blue Sky account, though, has tweets like, "So how long until Destiny gets banned from this app? Hashtag DG."
Well, would you look at that? It's from a Destiny fan. Crazy. Who fucking does this shit all the fucking time. Destiny loves to fucking concern troll. Constantly. All the fucking time. Whoa. And it does it in incredibly fucking incredulous ways. And loves to wax poetically all the time about it. And when in reality, he's doing it purely out of fucking spite. 100%. It's always like a sort of completely for me, but none for thee type situation. Which is why I basically say that Destiny is no better than a fucking conservative. Yeah, this guy is like a fucking Destiny super fan. Imagine on our fucking DGGL as a fucking hashtag. You're a fucking like a cancerous tumor.
GG. Hashtag Daliban. Hashtag Destiny. Tankies are already terrified of arriving Daliban forces. Following back all liberals.
So true.
Hashtag DGG. Now, the reason that these posts are relevant is because Destiny is quite famous for saying very unhinged, offensive shit, and he doesn't really seem to care that much about it.
Don't pretend like you care about mental health or any of that cringe shit. Just be based. Tell people to kill themselves. Make fun of people who are on SSRIs. Make fun of people who have depression, anxiety, or GD. Just do that. Just embrace the I can't say the words on stream anymore.
Destiny, you are totally the same, because he's Destiny loves to speak out of both sides in his mouth all the fucking time, okay? He'll always engage in the exact same fucking behaviors all the fucking time in order to fucking protect his brand constantly. Look at what's like going on with fucking Pixie, for example, with the Pixie lawsuit. Or he'll be like very, very careful and sort of like, conscientious of what he's saying about a lot of other stuff as well, depending on the fucking situation. Destiny's full of fucking shit when he says any of this stuff.
All the slurs, everything you use, just do that. Go full in on it.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't think this user is actually worried about the language I'm using. I don't think that they're concerned about me being toxic masculinity-esque.
Make fun of people who are on SSRIs.
And I kind of don't think that they're worried about a call to violence. I actually think that they wouldn't mind me doing a call to violence.
Tell people to kill themselves.
They actually might even be encouraged by a call to violence, if I had to guess, I can only speculate based on hashtag Daliban, which is just some racist Twitter group. Ultimately, concern trolling is just saying something in bad faith. It's very similar to tone policing or sea lining. But I didn't really want to talk about those because those feel different to me for some reason. Specifically sea lining. That shit isn't even intuitive. I've looked it up.
Yeah, sea lining is just fucking weird. It's fucking annoying. But yeah, it's a type of trolling or harassment that consists of pursuing people with relentless requests of evidence, often tangential or previously addressed, while maintaining a pretense of civility and sincerity and feigning ignorance of the subject matter. This describes Destiny's fans to a fucking T. They love sea lining all the fucking time. Same with I would even say this of a bunch of fucking liberal accounts, right? They love this rhetorical tactic constantly. I'll be quite honest. They will very, very often, when you say, you make an argument saying, Destiny is a piece of shit because he's hired a particular fucking lawyer that used to represent a bunch of Me Too abusers, right? Or people who got called on like Me Too. You can look this up. It's happened, and then they'll just be like, well, provide evidence. You find the evidence for it. So you're like, this is the evidence, quite literally, saying like, and then they just immediately start calling it into question, saying like, well, you know, I don't really know, but because like I've been seeing like other stuff like this, and based off of like what fucking Destiny has said before, I don't know, like, yeah. I'm not gonna use like some other fucking evidence or something. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't necessarily 100% know what you're talking about. And it's just like, well, then why'd you ask the question to begin with? Like, do you even care? Oh, no, you don't. Because you're just a sycophant to Destiny. Crazy.
Up, I think 3 times now, and I still don't fucking... I mean, I get it. I just can't recall it easily. So, in my mind, that means it's stupid. It's not working. I can't bust it out in the middle of a heated argument and say, you're sea-lining me. See? It's because you grew whiskers in the middle of this debate. That means you're sea-lining me. You started flapping your arms and going, oh, oh, oh. Therefore, you are sea-lining. I mean, there you go. It feels like 2 people getting into a shouting match is more an accurate descriptor of sea-lining than whatever the fuck it is. I think the least problematic part of being a concern troll is them taking a moderate position, potentially. Because at that point, you're just being a party pooper. Or like a killjoy. A buzzkill. Like, we're familiar with these types of people. They're just constantly reeling people in because they're worried that they're using, like, too crazy a rhetoric or they're getting a little too excited, right?
This also perfectly describes fucking Destiny fans to a fucking T. Because they will be extremely fucking annoying about, like, definitions in fucking terms constantly saying, like, well, you know, like, personally, I feel like you can't really, like, say these things because I don't think it's, like, 100% perfectly accurate for us to, the sort of positions that you're ascribing to. Like, are you, can we, like, define our fucking terms here yet again? You give, like, a pretty clear, accurate definition, say, like, yeah, this is how this is in line with what I'm saying. And they're like, yeah, well, you know, I don't really know 100% for sure if, like, what you're believing here is true or not, blah, 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 blah. And they just do the whole fucking stupid, annoying ass rig. It's fucking annoying.
And I think we all could use people in our lives to, like, reel us in a bit. The aspect of concern trolling that bothers me the most is the role-playing aspect. There isn't really a lot of incentive to not be anonymous.
Role players.
There are some people out there who've made the unconscious choice to be like, my online profile is just an extension of who I am in the real world. And then there are all the people who consciously decide to stay anonymous. Now, for some of these people, it's just like, I want to be safe and I really don't want to take that plunge. Fair enough. But then there are the people who are like, not only am I not going to be myself, I'm going to be someone else. You know, I'm going to be someone else so that I can fuck with this community of people. Now, every time I see these characters, the image that pops in my mind is not like, oh, like you're a clever, smart guy who has infiltrated the opposing faction. You're like a spy.
I'll be quite honest. Those people are typically the most fucking annoying motherfuckers on the planet. I'll be honest. Because again, it's like the whole sort of like meta irony bullshit, right? Where you're just like, bro, I have no idea what the fuck this person thinks or fucking believes in, or if they even think or believe in anything. And it's just, like, trying to fucking determine that is just the most annoying fucking shit on the planet. It's extremely fucking frustrating.
In Team Fortress 2, it's like, no, that is a fantasy. What you actually are is you're like Steven Crowder in a wig at a women's-only event, thinking that they're making some kind of grand point.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, with all the frequencies of feminism, and I am here at the Women's March in Austin. We quickly found...
It's Steven Crowder, who loves to dress in drag. Dude, when is Steven Crowder gonna come out of the closet? Here's the thing. Because let's keep it $1.50. Steven Crowder loved doing these fucking skits and dressing in fucking drag all the time, okay? Bro is so far in the closet, he's gonna fucking reach Narnia. I know I probably butchered that joke completely, but whatever.
Found out that nobody questions, criticizes, nor runs security background checks on trannies.
The reason someone like Steven Crowder gets into this position is not because of his cunning. It's because people are like, oh, you're a fucking weirdo freak. I'm staying, 20 feet away from you at all times. Or I'm going to be a very non-judgmental person, and I'm not going to ask any questions about whatever you got going on here.
We could get away with anything. Go anywhere.
Yeah, here's the thing with, again, listen, not Ethan, Ian. You're forgetting, this is a very important factor that you're forgetting. Conservatives do not agree with common courtesy. They just don't believe in it. They would prefer to just be like, fuck it. Fuck you. I hate you. Like, I'm just gonna, like, treat you like an ostensible piece of shit because, I am the one on the top of the hierarchy and I have to do everything to maintain and control that, maintain that control and that fucking hierarchy. That's what fucking Steven Crowder actually believes in. So, you know, common courtesy, I don't have to give a shit about any of that. I can just say and do anything I want because, I don't know, fuck you. I just hate people.
Act any way we wanted, and we were really able to learn what today's progressive issues are all about.
And I guess in this case, it's a massive own. He's proven that.
What
people
an
are
own,
tolerant of
guys.
him. Having
Got
said
him.
that, I think
Epic.
we can end this video on a positive note. I'm proposing that fucking with people might be a way for some of these concern trolls to indulge in things and lifestyles that they never thought were possible because they're so opposed to them. So by pretending to be the very thing that you hate, you might actually gain some sympathy, or you might be like, oh, actually, the people in this community I kind of fuck with. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Idubbbz Complaint.
That's also like another thing. For example, if a conservative has like in like their close friend group, like a particular sort of like a minority or whatever, like say they have like Jorge or some shit as like their fucking neighbor or whatever, they're gonna be more sympathetic to Jorge because they'll be like, that's Jorge. Jorge's a good man. He works hard and he believes in God and the Constitution. You can't deport Jorge or whatever the fuck. And that's when they start to have, like, some modicum of fucking sympathy. Either that or when their fucking family starts to ostracize them. And then they, you know, sort of try to better themselves. Maybe. Or they just go further in the rabbit hole. Either one can work.
I hope you enjoyed watching. I will put a Patreon link down below. I'm still cooking on what needs to be uploaded there. So don't expect...
So I think okay, we're pretty much done here. Yeah, so I guess, like, again, right-wingers love to concern troll all the time. It's an incredibly fucking annoying rhetorical tactic. I guess, you know, I'm also throwing in Destiny in this one as well, and his stupid, annoying fans, because they love concern trolling all the fucking time, and just, like, you know, feigning a complete, utter ignorance to a, not feigning ignorance, that's not correct. Pretending to be concerned about a particular issue when in reality they could give less of a shit about it and they just want to like be really fucking stupid and fucking annoying. And generally speaking, overly fucking pedantic. Lots of fucking pedantry when it comes to these motherfuckers when they pretend to be trying to actually make the correct technical fucking argument. It always ends up devolving to like a wordplay game and like definitions and shit like that, and it just becomes like complete utter fucking nonsense. It's very, very fucking annoying. I'll be quite fucking honest.